Hey everybody, so today we're going to be breaking down the real timelines of how much time does it take to build a ADU in Seattle, from the time you find and buy the dirt to being able to move in or rent or sell the completed project. So I'm going to draw this timeline for you. We're going to walk through it. Real timeline to build a DADU in the greater Seattle area. Okay. You see it's blank right now. I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. We're going to have some fun with it. And so I'm going to say the first timeline is going to be permitting. So once you buy a piece of land, you got to go through permitting and feasibility. So I would say feasibility should be no more than, like, let's say 1 month. Realistically, for a DADU, you should be able to find out whatever you need to do. And then, it's going to be, you either going to close on it or you're not, based upon the results of the feasibility. But again, for a DADU, let's just say 1 month for feasibility. Okay. Boom, 1 month for feasibility. Okay, so then once you close, you're going to start permitting. Now, permitting could be anywhere from another 1 month if you have a pre-approved DADU to, what I've seen, 3 to 4 months. So let's do 1, 2, 3. Let's go 4 months just in case. So this chunk permitting. Okay. Let's just say 4 months. Now, it might be faster. It might be slightly longer. We're getting permits in 2 to 3 months, but it kind of depends. Depends on how fast your architect gets back to you. Depends if you have to do a geotech. It depends on how fast you can get a survey done. So there's some variables that we may not understand or control. But generally, I would say 4 months is kind of a really good benchmark, because again, some people take longer. Some people it takes 5 months. It depends on how long you spend on the design process and engineering of your DADU, because some people take like a month or two figuring out stuff. And so that obviously delays the timeline and skews it from like 2 or 3 months to 5 or 6 months. Where generally, when we go in, we know exactly what we want. We know exactly what we want it to look like. We know the square footage. We know the build heights. We know the setbacks. We know the interior finishes. So we have the interior product completely built out and modeled and all the measurements before we even bring it to our architect and engineer. So they're able to put together a plan, both a structural plan and site plan, very quickly for us, within like a week or two at most. And then we can then take and submit to permits, and they're very quick when they have everything like that drawn out. And so knowing and having an idea of what you want in terms of spacing, layout, design, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, features, knowing all that in mind before you start will save you a lot of time in like holding costs. Okay, so after you get the permit, you're probably talking, it depends on the complexity of the project, but let's say anywhere from 2 weeks to a month of, let's say, like site work and utilities. Site work, 1 month. What? Sorry, my drawing is not great. Okay, so then you have 1 month of that, and then you got to do the foundation. Your foundation can be poured and framed up and poured in a couple weeks, but then you got to let it cure for 2 or 3 weeks before you can start up framing. So let's say that's another month and a half. So 2.5 months. So let's go from here to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's do. So I also added framing in there, a couple of weeks. They're going to overlap with a foundation timeline as well, so there's going to be some overlap. And then, so 1, 2, 3, couple weeks. Then you're going to have, let's see. Again, the foundation might be 2 weeks, and then you do 2 weeks. It'll be like this could be done in 6 weeks, so it could be a little bit faster. So I'm giving some buffer room. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3.5 months, and then we're gonna do basically we're gonna do siding and the roofing and windows in about a month, and rough-ins, siding, roof, windows, 1 month. Okay, so I'll put you about 4 months, and then we're gonna do basically also you're gonna start rough-ins as well. Rough-ins is HVAC, so mini splits in this case. Going to do 3 to 4 heads depending on your design for your mini splits. Your rough-ins for all your electrical, all your plumbing. And that's going to start going in as well in that timeline towards after about 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. Your siding is going to take 3, 4 days. Roof is going to take 4 days, 5 days. So it's 2 weeks. Windows is going at the same time, and then rough-ins couple weeks. So that's all in a 1 month time frame. So now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4 months. So the next month is going to be. This is including inspections as well, by the way. The next one is going to be. This does include drywall, and you're going to start doing some finishes. Drywall, mud and tape, flooring, okay. That's your next month, and then we're also going to start and doing some interior finishes, so tile bathrooms, and start the kitchen. So we're right there. So it's a lot happening in that month, and then let's say like basically the final. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The final month we'll do all finishes. So finish, kitchen, bath, fixtures. So kitchen cabinets, countertops are going to go in there. All the light fixtures, lighting, paint, landscaping, plus everything else. Uh, in the last month. So again, you know, there's some extra time frame in there, but basically you're looking at once you get the permits, you're looking at about 5 to 6 months. So that's what it should take. That's a realistic timeline, broken down into everything from start to finish. Permitting takes, again, could take a month, could take 4 months, and then all the rest of the things broken down. Again, this stuff right here could take 5 weeks, could take 6. So I would say a good timeline to even like hold your general contractor to. Again, some of the stuff may go faster. Let's do this. Some of the stuff right here, this might go faster. So I put 2 months here. You might be able to get this down in 6 weeks, maybe even 5. Okay. I don't think you'd be doing less than four weeks, but 6 weeks, 5, sure. And that would save you another 3 weeks, and then 2 weeks here, and it all kind of stacks. So you could do as fast as like 5 months. But again, if you want, especially landscaping, we're talking fence, landscaping, everything else, all flat work is done here. So driveway is done kind of here. If there's sidewalk or walkways, it's done in this time frame as well. So I included time for that. So all flat work is done, driveways and everything. Again, this is all your roofing. Everything's done. All your rough-ins. Again, then your flooring, your bathrooms, your kitchens start here. They continue on as the other stuff is going, and then they finish. Everything's installed. So all the light fixtures installed here, all the can lights. You're literally just screwing in light bulbs at this stage, and you're, finishing everything else. The cabinets and countertops should already be installed. All your vanities should be installed either at this phase or this phase. All your light fixtures will go installed here. Your ventilation, any finishing touches, trim would probably be here. All your doors would be at this phase or this phase. So again, your doors are probably going to be at the same time as like drywall. So doors, right? So doors, I just underlined it. Doors are going to be in this phase as well. So doors, drywall, mud and tape, flooring, starting the flooring, kitchen, bath, like starting the bathroom floors after the mud and tape are done. So basically, as soon as the mud and tape is done, again, you can do the drywall and then mud and tape immediately after. So you're literally talking like 1 week, and I gave this a whole month. So drywall, mud and tape is going to take like 1 week to get it completely finished, and then you have a whole another 3 weeks I have in here. So flooring is going to go in like 3 days for a DADU, maybe 2. So then you have, again, tile work. Tile work's going to take for the whole thing, 3-4 days, maybe 5. So that's another week. You still have 2 more weeks. That's where you're doing your doors. You're starting your kitchen. You're hanging your cabinets, and you're starting all the other things. And so really, like a lot of the big work is done. Most of the big work is done right here in this section. And then this is just all the finishing things. Again, light, installing the actual light bulbs, installing lighting fixtures in the bathrooms, vent fans, all the finishing touches, everything else that needs to be done right there. So that is a realistic timeline of what it takes to build a DADU from start to finish, month by month. So again, talking design, permits, engineering, construction, all the way to what's called a CO, or it's called a certificate of occupancy. It's basically where a city comes through and does a final inspection and gives you a stamp on the permit final saying that you can now occupy this home. The city gives you permission. All utilities are connected, the panels in place, everything's good to go. And they stamp it saying, hey, this home has been final inspected by the city, and we give our approval for somebody to live in this home. So it's called a CO, certificate of occupancy. And so now you have a pretty reasonable timeline. Should be about 6 months or less. But again, for most people, I would say from the time of permits, a good reasonable time is about 6 months for a DADU. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure if you have more questions or if you want to know more, make sure to like and subscribe and leave some comments of what you'd like to know more about.